Hello there, gentle people, and welcome to a special edition of the It's Not Always Dark podcast. I'm Kieran.
And I'm Erin, and today we are here with a little baby mini episode. How fun.
Baby episode, little tiny thing.
So
Just a little
cute.
something,
It's a
something.
little baby. We thought it would be fun to have like a little mini episode moment where we played a game. It was a game that we came up with during one of our previous episodes. I don't even know if it made the cut, but the name of the game.
Ladies, it's Modernising history. We're
It's
here to do
modernising
one
history.
thing, and that's take one time period and forcibly put it into another and give our thoughts, feelings, and ideas of what could happen for them.
Yeah, I think the whole thought process behind it was there was a moment where we were for some unknown reason, if you've listened to the podcast, you know that we love a detour. We ended up
love a
talking
detour.
about like Viking longboats being the Teslas of their day.
Yes.
That was the inspiration. So, you know, we're keeping it aspirational, inspirational, everything you want and need to be here at the It's Not Always Dark headquarters. So,
HQ. Oh, we're bringing the headquarters into it.
oh yeah, we're official.
Are we
So-
are we like joint chief executive officers of the company?
Oh yeah,
Like,
I had to
are we
like write
joint
a new
CEOs?
CV this week, and I was like writing like listing my roles off. I was like host, producer, head of marketing.
But that editor, like, there's a lot of things that go into this pod.
So be grateful, people. I'm kidding. Please listen. So let's get into the game. In front of me, I have two hats, which I have written on pieces of paper, folded them into tiny little bits, and put them into the hats. There are
How do
two
you say
categories.
two in French?
De.
De?
Yeah. In
Je
I
suis?
honestly, I feel very Victoria in the Good Morning Challenge. Oh, Drag Race UK people. Okay, let's get into the game. So in front of me, I have two hats, an orange beret and a red beanie. In the orange hat, I have 5 or 4, I can't remember, little tiny pieces of paper that have somewhat historic time periods on them. And in my red beanie, I have other teeny tiny bits of folded paper that have more recent decades, starting from the 70s until now. What we're going to do is we're going to take one and put it into the other in a completely
Little mashup.
platonic, consensual way. Let's do it.
Everyone loves a mashup.
A mashup.
Let's pick. I want to know what is inside these beanies and berets.
So, from the beret, that is our historic time period, we have medieval UK. So we're thinking Merlin, Arthur, Knights of the Round
Of
Table.
course.
Historians don't come for us. We're not trying to be accurate. We're trying to be entertaining.
We don't really get history as much as history gets us.
It's just a bit fun, isn't it?
Innit, love.
We just came here for a
Innit,
good...
silly-
I'm
Just here
vegan.
for a good time. I'm vegan. God, Bimini Bombulash. She should have been in medieval UK.
From the red beanie, I have pulled the 90s. So we're going to be putting the
Ooh.
Knights of the Round Table. I'm thinking in a boy band, honestly.
Oh, yes. Please put the Knights of the Round Table in a boy band. And, like, oh, okay, all of their swords can, like, detach out from their guitar.
I mean, honestly, like, I'm thinking, like, did Lin-Manuel Miranda, sorry, I refer to him by his first.
I know him
name
so
basis.
well. We're on a first name basis, me and Lynn, you know.
Me and Lynn. He in Hamilton makes like references to Lancelot and stuff, whilst obviously the style of Hamilton is in like a fun rap genre.
Yeah.
Did he already start
Maybe he
the?
did. Maybe Hamilton gets
Modernising
to
history.
coexist already.
Maybe we should need to like cite him as a source of
a
our
source.
coming up with this game.
I have... So I think that sounds amazing to have the Knights of the Round Table as a band, but I also need to put out there that Robin Hood participates in like a WWE style fighting event, and he gets to cut like a promo like Hulk Hogan to like the rich people of the land, like, "Hey brother, I need you all to give me all your money or I'm gonna steal it from you right now, okay?" And all of that stuff. I want just the WWE type promo. I want trash talking before he goes in for the robbery. I
All
want him to
I
take all the money and use it as part of like an entrance.
all I can see is that scene from the first Shrek film where he has to battle everyone. But like they're
Yes.
in the ring.
Yeah,
But
no. In the ring, in the ring.
like obviously things have been modernized around him. Very fun.
I have a really hard time thinking about Robin Hood without thinking of him as a fox. I think, do you know what? I'm going to put that as in the canon because I think that's really what we're doing here is we're establishing a canon for this new time period. I'm going to put in canon that Robin Hood was actually a fox, not a human being. I want it to be a fox.
I mean, fair. Life's what you make it. So let's make it right.
So let's make it rock.
Was it right? Or I thought it was right.
I thought it was rock.
I will go with you.
Life's what you make it, so let's make it rock. Yeah, I'm a stand by it.
Okay, I'll go with
Welcome
that.
the answer.
I am willing to be wrong. I'm trying to think of like other medieval things. Like we have like princesses, jousting.
I would like for one of the feasts to be captured and like I want like an MTV music video based in a feasting hall. I don't know
Okay.
who is going to be the star. Maybe it's Arthur. Maybe Arthur's like dishing some
Maybe
real.
it's Morgana.
It could be Morgana.
Giving me
I
very
think there's a
Britney
lot of
vibes.
Oh, okay. This is where we're going. So Morgana is doing a "Hit Me Baby One More Time" inspired video, but in the feasting hall.
Okay.
She's just surrounded by a bunch of a bunch of people eating at the big tables. I also have a hard time imagining what would be at the feasting table though.
And we're probably better not knowing. I think it was quite like not to the palate of
Oh.
a lot of like lard and
Oh.
eating the whole animal.
Oh. That's fun. Yeah, Bimini wouldn't last here.
No. But going on that like 90s is very like celebrity culture, so on and so forth. So like
Yeah.
I'm basing this entirely on the Merlin series that happened on BBC back in the day.
Television teaches us everything we need to know.
And like Arthur and that just seemed to like obviously they were royals, but like they were in amongst it constantly. Whereas like now, even in the 90s, that would just not happen. Like there would have to be some sort of like there would be an event. Like they wouldn't just be
Yeah.
out and about in the village. Like we didn't have like Liz isn't just like out and about London as much as she might want to be.
As much as she might want, she's gonna have to stay there.
Like if celebrity culture was to hit the Middle Ages.
I just thought of an amazing idea. Dragonocchi. It's a Tamagotchi, but you have your own little dragon in it. Because we all know dragons existed in medieval UK.
Obviously.
Yeah, of course.
But we still got one. We have Nessie. She's a dragon. No?
Oh, I forgot about that. Little
Yeah.
Nessie, little baby Ness.
I'm trying to think of like other 90s things, and all I can think about is Nickelodeon, but I don't know what children did in the medieval periods. Like, did they even exist? Like, did they exist?
Yeah. Because, like, how did people grow up otherwise?
I just feel like, what did they do with their days, with their time? Like,
Buckets on the head, gathering water, I'm gonna guess. Stuff like that. Sounds about right.
keeping it casual, just
giving a casual, like, in the 90s, what else did we really have going for us?
like I'm thinking like baggy jeans. I'm thinking like those weird hair clips. Like,
Oh my god, a Claire's accessories, but set up in medieval UK.
so it's like it's more like bedazzle your horse rather than like bedazzle your
Ooh.
person. My Little Pony,
Oh,
but it's
of
actual
course.
ponies.
So dumb. Please, can we have another topic? I'm ready for.
You feel like I've had enough of
for
this.
more. It's not that I've had enough. I just can't like rake my brain of any more right now, and I think it'd start to get embarrassing if I try and think of more.
Okay, I have. This is round two. I have
Round two.
the
Begin.
Egyptians.
Oh, okay.
Walk like an Egyptian.
What is it to walk like an Egyptian?
I think it just means that dance move. Because it's
Oh,
obviously
I
how they were
see.
all like painted on the walls. Because that's
Yeah,
just like
that's true. Because
like people
I mean,
like
they didn't know 3D art at the time. The
no, I
hieroglyphics.
think they did enough given what they
Yeah.
had.
Oh no, they did. They did well.
They
I'm
did-
not critiquing what
did
they've done in
plenty.
ancient Egypt.
But like everyone's really coming for their art and being like the little dance
It's just a
walk.
bit blocky.
Okay, we're putting the Egyptians in the 80s.
Fascinating. Okay, so
I mean, I
I'm gonna
think we have some like strong connections anyway.
please tell me some.
Well, 80s, when I think 80s, I think like rock music, different
Okay.
types of rock music. Specifically, I think glam rock and the Egyptians could become
could
one
see
quite
it.
easily. Like they liked a bit of makeup.
Both men and women in ancient Egypt wore makeup, so that totally works.
Yeah, we're just really like playing into the androgyny, which is so like thinking of
I
like
think that was
80s
what
icons.
ancient Egypt was like, and yeah, the 80s was very like not embracing of androgyny per se, but it was the
No,
thing.
but the people that were like iconic
Yeah, have been
were
very
like
androgynous.
and maybe like unfortunately like you had to be of a level of stardom to be accepted that way. So I'm thinking, right, we have a Queen music video,
Okay.
which is like a fun pop moment, but like their videos kind of got quite wacky. But it's
Oh,
like
but they did.
like a Queen music video, but it's like set. Are you allowed to like? No, it's probably not very like respectful, is it, to like have a music video in an Egyptian tomb? Now that I think
I
of it,
wouldn't think so.
No.
Maybe not. I am looking for a Cabbage Patch doll
yeah.
made from Cleopatra. Not made from
Made
her.
in the-
not-
made in
like,
the
I
image
don't want
of.
to. Yeah, made in the image of, not used as material.
Yeah.
Yes, I would like a Cabbage Patch doll so that all the kids in ancient Egypt they could, worship Miss Cleopatra, but with a fun toy, because that's how you really get people to love you.
You
Make
really
yourself a
said
toy.
merge.
Merch. Yeah, give me that Cleopatra merch.
Oh, things we love to have. But like, I'm trying to think about like day-to-day life. Like, surely they spent most of their time like building. Because
Well, I found out that because I think there's like a big belief that it was like slaves that built the pyramids, but from what I found in my research was apparently they were all like labored workers that were paid quite well. I'm not a historian, but that's what one of my sources said was that these people weren't slaves, so I think they might have had time for it.
yeah, I think they probably. I mean, I have no authority on this at all, but when things are like that far back in history, it can be hard to
Yeah.
tell anything because it's the same as like we don't know what color dinosaurs were. Like,
You don't?
no.
Erin, purple and green. Oh my god, what are you talking about? We all know about dinosaurs.
I thought you were about to like school me on like
No.
yeah.
I'm just here to represent Barney. He's the only dinosaur I've got time for.
He's the only dino for me.
He's the only dino for me. He had little friends too, but I don't know any of their names. I know there were other dinosaurs, but like, do you think Barney got rid of them because he wanted to be the last dinosaur?
I mean,
He really said extinction, except for me.
he's like
I'm exempt from the extinction.
I will survive, meaning I like
Meaning
I only me. Wow, why? Like, how did we end up villainizing Barney in this way?
I think Barney did it to himself. Barney knew what would happen when he got rid of those little dinosaurs. They were children.
They were but
Took them
young
out.
things.
They were children.
What were like other things that happened in the 80s? I'm like, obviously we weren't alive. I have some fun notes
We
about
weren't?
Thatcher, but like I'm not talking about that.
I used to honestly, and like this was like a running joke in my life for a little while, I would like just blatantly accept that I invented things from like a long time ago, even though I couldn't have been born. So like we'd start talking about the Star Wars franchise and I'd be like, yeah, well, I invented that. That was me. Like I
This
would
is
just
just bringing me
take
back
ownership.
to you saying that you wrote that Hannah Montana song.
Honestly, like what was I doing? I was like, these were more like it was a joke. I wasn't trying to actually plagiarize in this setting because it was so absurd that of course I couldn't have invented it. I would only say it for things like we'd like go to like a museum. I'd look at a sword or something to be like, I remember when I welded that. That was really difficult. Like I
Or
just like to
like in
take
a
some
past
ownership.
life, like imagine like you actually did, but like
Yeah, but
your
like maybe
spirit
there's
just
something that's
re-entered you
compelling
when
me.
you met the object.
That's like a really great point. Like, what if that is true? What if that's why I feel inclined to say it about certain things? I could have been a part of all of these.
You're like, I'm not just a compulsive liar.
I'm not a
There's a
compulsive
reason.
liar. I'm just, there's something else to it. Because I didn't do it for just anything. It would just be a specific thing would be said, and I'd go, yeah, that was me.
Obviously. You're like, I only want this
Obviously.
associated with my brand.
Yeah. If it didn't fit the brand, though, it got cut. We have sponsors to me and an audience to entertain. I wasn't about to try and take ownership over something like a shield.
Okay, let's do one more.
Okay.
I'm gonna whap out. Okay, we have the Salem witch trials. And
Fun.
us covering this topic, we're gonna say again, not historically accurate. We just wanted to talk about witches.
Listen here, witches. If you have something to say about it, come and hex me.
Honestly,
I
me
dare you.
being obsessed.
I'll meet you at the trial.
Like with Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh, you have been really into that show. And it's ended, right? Have you watched the
finished.
final episode yet?
Yeah, so Kieran was like, Erin, you need to just watch the rest of the final
Yeah.
episode. Because I was like, I was putting it off because I didn't want it to end. Which actually seems to be something that I do a lot
We
in my
all get
life.
there.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
just putting the last bit off?
Oh,
No, that's very fair. That's common.
me putting off an ending because I don't want to deal with it.
I don't want to deal with the fact it's over.
Anyway, so we're
Rip that
setting
band-aid.
the Salem witch trials, but in the 10s.
Oh, perfect.
Which
Okay.
makes it perfect for Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
I'm not trying to say this to try and get on the brand or anything, but this has already been done a little bit with American Horror Story Coven. It's very that vibe.
I've not seen
Taking
American
some-
Horror Story.
See, this is one of these things. And you don't love horror, but I don't necessarily think of it as horror, even though it's in the title. I think there's some spooky bits, but for the most part, you're just following like a really intense story.
Okay.
But I'd say that there's a lot of things already in place here for us.
Mhm.
So it's got to take place in Massachusetts because obviously the witch trials were held there.
Okay, so putting Sabrina into the 10s. I have here like
They've
some
done
key elements. Putting Sabrina,
Okay.
I keep saying Sabrina and I'm sorry. I mean the Salem witch
The
trials.
Salem witches that might be offended by her mistaking you as Sabrina, we're sorry.
Yeah, this is my apology because I didn't, it's not what I mean. But Salem witch trials, but it's a reality TV show like Love Island. And like you have to try and find the witch.
You have to find the witch for you to burn at the stake.
Or like,
I mean, because men
it's
and
something like
women were
this.
both accused.
Imagine it's like The Circle, where like people are in like their own different rooms and they have to like choose to go with their own identity or like make someone up and they like plant a witch in there and you have
Just
to
for
guess
good measure.
and they have to try and work out who the
How are they
witch
gonna
is.
guess, though?
Like Trapped, where there was like the imposter
Okay.
and then you have to try and work out who the witch is.
I like it. I'm with this reality TV one. I want the Real Housewives of Salem. That's what
Yeah.
I look for.
Yes.
Like, I want them to be like super bitchy to each other and like looking across the room, and one of them sets the other on fire just with her mind because she looked at her the wrong way.
I mean,
Like, I want Nene leaks in the Salem witch trials. That's what I'm requiring from this.
I mean, the
I
Salem witch
said
trials.
what I said.
Oh, the Salem witch trials, but with social media as well. Like, can you
Yes.
imagine cancel culture, but you're a
Cancel
witch?
culture. But no, but that was what the fucking witch trials were. It was
Yeah.
just these people were outcast in society. Like, if you were like, I think it was like single women were targeted, people that didn't look like they fit in a community, and also people that didn't attend church every Sunday. Those were the people that were like first up for, and slaves in Massachusetts as well. So all these people were accused because they weren't just the regular do-gooders that went to church and everything.
So what
It
we've
was-
learned is humanity hasn't changed.
No. I've thought of another one for the Housewives one. Sorry, it's really strong on my head and it stuck out. But
Uh-huh.
it is Nene Leakes again saying I said what I said, but she's holding a spell book. And she's cast a spell, and someone's like, why did you do that? And she's like, I said what I said. Because she chanted a spell.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I'm just thinking like all these things, like it lends itself so well to today's culture because it just is. Like it just is today's culture. Like imagine like
a
group chats. Group chats, but it's like everyone but the person accused. And it's just because they don't like her.
Super witchy. Yeah. That is what it is.
It's just
like,
straight up bullying. It's like
it
13-year-old
really
girl
was
bullying.
And it all began because there was like a reverend in one of these churches, and two of his daughters became really ill. Like they became violently ill, and they started having like seizures and stuff. And they somehow managed to make this like a doctor came by and was like, "Oh, it's witchcraft." Like the doctor just didn't know what he was doing. So it makes me think of all those stories that we see these days where there's these really bad doctors that clearly just don't know what they're doing properly, and they just go ahead and make these procedures happen. It's a misdiagnosis that happened in 1600s Massachusetts.
I mean, it's very like former president of the United States, just like
Very that.
global warming. It's witchcraft. Doesn't
Witchcraft.
exist.
I just like the idea though that could you imagine being a witch? It'd be so fun. I'd be a witch.
I mean, my whole thing is I really want to be I really wish I had magical powers because
Oh, don't we all?
I think it was triggered by like Harry Potter, Wizards of Waverly Place, like cartoons, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Matilda.
Quotes.
Like it's been put
All
on
these people that can do stuff with their brains and a little chanty spell. I'm into
jealous. Wicked. Like Wizard
it.
of Oz.
Totally. I mean, Marvel right now has an entire series dedicated to the Scarlet Witch. Like,
I've not seen it yet. I'm very excited to
oh,
watch
it's so
it.
good.
Yeah.
You should be. We're on like I think this is now like the 5th episode came out on Friday, and there's 9 in total. And like I would wait till the end at this point. Like
Got 2 episodes of Bridgerton to finish, and then I'm a free woman. This has been a fun little game. I've actually quite enjoyed it.
it's been a lot of wild mindfuckery, crackheadery, us doing stuff that maybe doesn't make a lot of sense, but I enjoyed it too.
It's a bit out of the norm, but it's a bit of fun. And we'll maybe be back with some different games. Maybe this game again, but with different periods. Thank you so much for listening to this little baby mini episode of the It's Not Always Dark podcast. We will potentially be back with some more games at some point, with some little hot takes on some fun, your favourite TV shows.
Oh, totally. I'm here for games. I think this is just the first of many of us indulging ourselves through word games.
Yeah, this is us continuing to assume that we are really, really interesting and that everyone wants to hear what we have to say.
Of course.
And if you've
That's
made it
the
this
only thing
far,
you can do.
you clearly agree. So, thank you
Merci
so much for
beaucoup.
listening. We've had a hoot and a half. We will be back with a full-length episode on Friday. Because we've no
Fridays
idea
are
when this
usually
is
our
going.
day.
Friday's the day. Get hyped, stay safe, and we will see you next time.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button.